Hey, what's up guys? It's Ravenclaw here, back with my Marksman Hunter guide for PvP. I know a lot of you have been asking for it, and I have to apologize to all my Marksman Hunters out there. I have been neglecting you guys, I know, and I'm very sorry. But hey, it's here right now. Let's have a talk about it. Now, Marksman is an interesting class. Yes, it's high damage, but there's a lot of it's not so much flaws, but there's a lot of casting time involved. So it's how we play this class. It's very important. But we'll get into all of that very shortly. So I say to you guys, have a look around the screen. Like always with all my guides, you know this. Click on the part that you want to go to. If you are new to MM or new to the Hunter in general, you want to play some Marksman, sit back and go through the whole guide. And yeah, other than that, let's get into it. Alrighty, my awesome hunters. Let's have a look at the spells. Now, the spells, if you played Marksman before, there's a few things that have changed, a few things that are still the same. Now, if you're new to the Marksman class or the Hunter in general, I will quickly go through, the bits and pieces. So those that already know, bear with me. Alright, so first one's up is our main attack, I'd like to call it, and that's the aimed shot. Hits quite hard, but it is a cast time, and it can't be cast while moving. So that's that's what I was talking about earlier. So that's aim shot. Aspect of the cheetah increases our movement speed, quite a long cooldown though, so use it wisely. Aspect of the turtle, this is our it's our deterrence. Deterrence is now gone, which sucks, but this is still not too bad. Okay, so once you use it, it'll deflect all incoming damage, but if you have dots or anything like that, it only reduces that damage by 30%. Barrage, this is our AoE, which just, look at all them numbers. So many numbers. That's one thing I've noticed about Marksman. If you're into big numbers, yeah, this is the spec for you. Alright? Anyway, binding shot. This is a talent. We'll get into the talents in a sec, so I'm going to skip past these. We'll catch up later. Bursting shot. Now, what this does, it's a disorient. So let's say there's a warrior coming right into your face. You can go pop and run away. So it basically makes them dance in a circle for about 4 seconds while you trot on away and hide behind a pillar. Alright, let's move on. Call pet. That's obviously be able to summon your pets. Pretty cool. Concussive shot, that's a slow, so make sure you apply this to melee targets or healers and stuff that you don't want to be able to get out of your sight. Just slows them down. Counter shot, this is our kick, so if they're casting a spell, hit it out, you'll interrupt them puppies in no time and lock them out of that school. So for those that aren't aware of what that means, is let's say they're going to cast a holy spell. It'll lock them out of any spell that's in the class of holy. So, healers and whatnot. Disengage, that's our bounce away and run for our life thing. Now, I've obviously got a talent attached to this, which we will go over. Eagle Eye. Now, some of you will be going, alright, Eagle Eye is pointless, we don't need that. Yes and no, depends on what you're doing. Arenas, no. BGs, it's actually pretty handy. For example, if you're doing a Arathi Basin, and you're holding a point and you want to see what's happening across the way to see if anyone's coming in to attack, chuck that puppy down and you've got eyes in the sky. I guess, well, like an eagle. Next. Exhilaration is our self-heal. Pretty good. Before, you used to have to talent this. Now, it's part of our rotation. Very good. Saves us a lot of heartache, especially if you're about to get killed. That's a great way to sort of keep yourself up just for a healer to come along and save your life. Speaking of saving your life, you can fake that with Feign Death. See how I did that? Sort of just rolled on in. I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Alright. Feign Death. That's exactly what it means. Basically, let's say if you're in, PvE, and you got a lot of aggro, you do that, drops all the aggro. Yeah. Now in PvP, what would you use this for? Now, let's say if you have BM's pets coming right at you to bite your face off, feign death that, loses all the threat, they run away. If you have warriors and whatnot coming at you, feign death, it just drops target. So if they have locked onto you, you can do that. It'll take their target off you. Really good for sort of faking people out. There's been many times where I've been in an arena and I was about to get killed and do this and they're just like, what? And they've actually run away and I was on like, 20% health, 10% health. And yeah, we've actually been able to sort of win the game from just me faking them out. But yeah, that's more aimed at my new hunters. Flare, great for getting stealthies out of stealth. If you're in a match against like a rogue or a feral, I always keep my flares up just so they can't get a vanish off or, the income so they can get back into stealth. Great, because if a rogue gets off stealth, they'll get into a cheap shot and get their rotation back up. Alright, mark shot. This is an interesting one, guys. Very interesting one. Alright, so for example, let me just see if I can get it to proc. Alright, so you can see here, Hunter's Mark. They've got Hunter's Mark on them. So, you can see it's lit up. So if you hit it, it'll actually shoot every target that has been affected with mark shot. Now, if you look... Okay, let's just try that again. I want to show you. So you can see vulnerability there. When you hit everybody, I'll get into that passive in a sec. Actually, no. We'll get into it now. What am I talking about? Alright, so vulnerable. What it does, it's like a damage buff for you, debuff on them. You put vulnerable on a target, your aim shot and mark shot do increase damage by 150%. Huge. And critical strike of your auto shots increased by 0%. Well, that's something. Misdirection, more for PvP, PvE. You put misdirection on the tank and you can hit something and all threat will go to the tank. Pet utility, that's just your utilities. I'm gonna let you guys have fun with that. Play dead, you can get from in here from the guy that's inside. It's basically make your pets die. Yeah. Sidewinders are the ones that I just showed you, but we'll get into that in a second. It replaces Arcane Shot. True Shot, this is a buff that we'll use to increase our haste. Now, as a marksman, you need to worry about your haste. The more haste you have, the quicker your aim shots will be, global cooldown, everything of the sort. So that's something that you would want to pop when you're about to get the kill. Wake Up is obviously the alternative to Play Dead. Windburst, this is our artifact talent. So if you shoot it, puts down a path, which increases anyone's speed by 50%. So you've got a melee that's trying to catch up to a target, you drop this puppy down, and they'll be able to run through and get the kill. Okay, so these are the passive. We'll quickly go through these. Bombardment, your critical strike with multi-shot increases multi-shot damage by 60%, more so for PvE, I would say. Hunter's Mark, which as I've explained to you before, allows you to then use mark shot, which actually hits pretty hard. Like, it does a lot of damage. Great for some of that AoE killing. After you kill a target, the remaining cooldown on exhilaration is reduced by 30 seconds. That's probably good for PvE, I would say, because you don't really get that many kills unless you're super awesome. But yeah, anyway. What's this? The last one here, range of all your ranged abilities increased by 18%. That's your mastery. So for example, like if you look here, 47 yards, I think it's normally like 40. It would be 40, yeah. But the more mastery you have, the further your abilities go, which is not too bad. But you want to focus more on, your critical strike and your haste. Get them puppies up, and then you'll be doing, bigger damage and faster. Okay, I think we'll let's just go to the next part. Okay, guys. So we've gotten the spells out of the way. And we can move on to talents. So, let me just zoom in a little bit closer. All right. The talents, the first tier. What do we look at? Now, this is what I like to do. Once again, it's not what you have to do. It's just what I like to do. Oh, on a quick note, by the way, you'll notice this little buff up here, right? This is from our artifact weapon. Increases our movement speed. So if we stand still, it stacks up to 5 stacks. Gives us a little speed boost. Yeah, just thought I'd mention that. I saw it up in the corner before. I'm like, oh, I didn't mention that when I was talking about artifacts. All right, so Lone Wolf. Increases your damage, but you can't use a pet anymore. I use Lone Wolf in arenas. Now, I have to be honest, I don't use Marksman a lot because I do favor BM. But Lone Wolf increases that damage, which is really good. As you can see, Marksman is all about the damage. Now, Steady Focus. Steady Focus is a two-pronged attack in the sense that you can use a pet, so you can get those pet utilities like the healing debuff from the birds. And because obviously you can't use like devil swords and stuff, but you can use birds. They'll do the 10, I think it's 10%, 20% healing debuff. But if let's just put it on. Okay, so we put it on, and we'll go over here, and we go Wazinga. You can have a look up here. Increases our focus regeneration, right? Which is actually pretty good because that way we can get more hits in, more stuff off, and yeah. Oh yeah, that's from my trinket. Don't worry about that. But yeah, good thing to have if you do need to, say for example, you're doing 3s and you want to get that healing debuff out to get more, more pressure on the enemy healer, things like that. That's probably a way I would say about going. If you're in sort of more like up against DPS, you just really need that solid burst to get the kill target going, like for 2s or even for 3s. If you know that you can sort of just global a target, you'll need as much damage as you can. But yeah, these are the ones that I take. Okay, coming into the 30. Second tier. Black Arrow. Now, Black Arrow was a great ability back in Warlords, but it took so long to be able to do it again if it wasn't dispelled or if it ran out on the target. It was just, ugh. So they've given it a bit of a retweak. Here's a good thing for both PvE and PvP. In PvP, it does a lot of dot damage. It's just crazy, crazy dots. Now, if it does, like it says here, when you kill the enemy, the remaining cooldown will be reset, which is actually handy to have. Although, in saying that, it's only a 13-second cooldown. Yeah, you get the idea. Lock and load, pretty good. This one here, I don't use it that much because I've found that Black Arrow has been more beneficial for me. Lock and load, simply you get a sort of free cast ability, so it allows you to use 2 aim shots without having a cast time. Pretty good if you especially when it procs and the target's about to die, get 2 aim shots off, massive damage. But yeah, I stick with the Black Arrow. Next, Post Haste is the one I always go with. It frees you from snares, so if a mage locks you down, you can bounce away, break the snares, and you get a speed boost to get back to cover. The level 60, I use Patient Sniper because what it does, it gains the patience of a veteran sniper, increasing your maximum focus by 30, which is awesome to have because a lot of these cost a lot of focus, and causing vulnerable to increase your mark shot and aim shot damage, which is important because as you saw before, it does a lot of damage. So if you see here, one, and now we put it on, and you can see that it goes da 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 da, and then it's still on. We shoot some aim shots, and you can see that it just the damage is there. So I stick with that. You can go if you really want to explosive shots or even sentinel. Applies Hunter's Mark to all enemies. I myself personally, I like to go with Patient Sniper. This one's situational, binding shot if you're up against melee cleave, so they're coming at you. You can drop that down and it, traps them all in there. So it's great for peeling for a healer or something like that. Wyvern Sting puts the target to sleep. It is good for across the map CC, especially if you've got the healer. You can lock them out over one side while the DPS is on the other side, or alternatively lock maybe a mage out from casting polys, things like that. And camouflage is, as it says, you go invisible, and you also get a self heal every 2 seconds, which I've found very handy back in the day. But for this, I sort of switch out depending on what I'm up against. Level 90, Murder of Crows, Barrage, or Volley. the two I usually stick with are either Barrage or Murder of Crows. Now, Murder of Crows mixed with Black Arrow, absolutely crazy dot damage. It really has a lot of dot damage right there. But as marksman, Barrage actually does a lot of damage in itself. So if you just spread the damage around everywhere. Great for battlegrounds to get that really massive AoE damage out. And even if you're going to burn a single target down, also good to chuck into your rotation. But yeah, it switch between the two, I guess, based on the comps that you're facing, or the situation that you're in if you're in battlegrounds or whatnot. Now, Sidewinder or Piercing Shot. Piercing Shot does a crap ton of damage. It is absolutely insane the amount of damage it does. Before we do that, I'll show you Sidewinders. Sidewinders replaces your Arcane Shot. So, as you can see, shoots out these crazy green snakes, or whatever they seem to be, right? And it hits everyone in between. But it also applies Hunter's Mark on the second shot. So you'll see up here, I got a little thing up there before, and it says the next one you do will apply Hunter's Mark. Right, so if you shoot a target that's at the back of a group, everyone that is in front of that person will get hit by Sidewinders and have a chance to get Hunter's Mark applied. So you see here, and then you see up there now, every time you see that proc, you can then, I then do a Sidewinder. But we'll get into that in a sec. And that's pretty much it. So Piercing Shot, that's what we're going to do. So let's just get a combat so I can change it out. Drop combat. Alright, Piercing Shot. Let's just put this there, shall we? This actually just hits for a massive amount of damage. So you shoot it out, and that's just like a, if you really want to just burst someone down, you just chuck that in there mixed with all your other goodies, and yeah, massive damage. Massive. Okay, so quickly onto the armor talents. The first one that the one up here, the only one that I find is absolutely useless is which one is it? Is this one? This one here. Like, it's automatic. You make your freedom trinket automatic. So let's say you go into a sap, then it'll just already proc the trinket, and then you're screwed. I don't find adaptation good at all. I don't use it. It's up to you if you want to. The one I take all the time is Gladiator's Medallion. Gladiator's Medallion. The next one. Quick Shots increases haste by 6%, which is good to get that extra, bit of haste going. But I like Focus Fire. Damage increased by 15% if you aren't being attacked. Which is always about getting as far away from the target as you can and not getting hit. So it's very situational. Depending if you're going to get focused, you probably want to go Quick Shots just to get faster aim shots and things like that out. Next one is situational again. If you're up against, say, a Affliction Lock, you want to take this. Magical damage over timer effects, deal 20% less damage. If you're up against, say, warriors or anything that's, coming up in your face, it's going to go really hard, you will use this because it reduces the critical strike against you. Critical strike, let's do that again. Critical melee strikes grant you 30% dodge, which is great. So, especially if you're really getting sort of zeroed in on, you want as much survivability as you can. And survival tactics is actually pretty cool. Every time you feign death, it removes everything. It removes everything from you and reduces damage taken. So it's a really good sort of last minute survival tactic. Viper Sting. The Viper Sting now is applied when you use your aim shot. So Viper Sting is great against druids, druid healers, or anyone that has an instant cast spell. Instant cast heal, because it reduces their healing done by 30%. Great, it's really, really good. But if they cast a spell, then it will be removed. But, by that time you've applied it again. This one is great for against like heavy critical strike people, like warriors and bits like that. I would go with, Scorpion Sting. And Spider Sting is actually pretty good against, say, like mages and things like that, especially if you want to get that CC off. For example, if they're going to cast a poly, you can chuck that on them. As soon as they try and do it, they'll get silenced for 4 seconds. So yeah, it's situational. These two here are very situational. Here we go with the CCs. Now, Scatter Shot is back. Scatter Shot is exactly as it is. what it will do is, if they've got dots on the target, it'll remove all of it and sort of daze them for 4 seconds, which is great if you want to link up CCs. You know, put them into a scatter shot and they can stun out of the scatter and clone out of that, and you get the idea. Now, freezing arrow, that's basically a freezing trap. I can't show you now because I'm not in PvP, but what it does is you can shoot off an arrow to cast, right? But essentially they get incapacitated in a block of ice, which is awesome. And it, let me see a check. All nearby enemies within 8 yards of the target also get affected by it, which is absolutely wicked. Especially if they're all grouping up. You chuck that puppy out, yeah, take a knee, sit down. I'm sorry. Anyway, and obviously damage will reduce it. And the last one here, I stick with True Shot Mastery. That extra haste is just valuable. If you want to be able to spam your... oh, actually, let's put Sidewinders back on. If you want to be able to spam Sidewinders, then Spray and Pray is the one for you. And Sniper Shot, if you want to get extra distance on all your spells, this is it. It'll obviously do a bit of damage, but also increases the range of your spells. You know, in arenas, you're always pretty much in each other's face, so it's probably better for BGs. All right, so that is pretty much it for all the talents. Now, I'm very sorry if you're a veteran of the marksman. You're probably just, you know, pulling your hair out for that, but it's really aimed at the new players. I want them to have a better understanding on when and where to use it. So, okay, let's move on to the next part of the guide. Okay guys, so this is, I was going to do like sort of a rotation part of the guide, but as marksman, it's really about just smashing some damage out. And the best way I thought I could show you is just jumping into a battleground and having a bit of fun on marksman. Okay, I know this guide is going to be quite long, but I just wanted to make it more of, you know, focused on the beginning players of marksman. If you focused on BM or survival and you're jumping over to marksman, you know, just a little bit to help out and make it a little bit of fun at the end, because you know, half an hour of listening to my crazy voice can do people's heads in. And as we go, I want to show you sort of how I play marksman to sort of keep myself in and out of trouble, more in, as everyone would already know. Okay, so like I said, you want to maintain your flare to get all the stealthies out of, but look how far away we can stand, right? So as we begin, we want to not get... Oh, here's a good thing for new players. Don't go popping your trinkets too early just because you got a stun, right? You want to make sure that you utilize your trinket appropriately. So from back here, you just want to keep your aim shot going and keep the hunter's mark on as many targets, because now look at all those debuffs out there. Now when I do another and hit the hunter's mark again, we're going to get some really tough spread damage. So aim shot, aim shot, aim shot. Let's chuck a wind burst down. Now we'll trinket because we're about to get wrecked. See, now if I'd have trinketed that rogue's burst, I wouldn't have been able to be safe there. So once again, now we want to do concussive shot on this guy, get a burst out, but we're going to die here, I think. So let's just get as much damage in as we can. Let's get this. Now watch this druid. So you come here, I stunned him. I'm doing a freezing arrow with a black arrow on that, and I knew I was going to die. But you can see that damage ticking. You know what I mean? It's pretty decent damage for black arrow. Now I'll talk about, I'll show you what this does. The freezing arrow. I'm sure I kept it, right? Yeah, I did. Okay, so aim shot is your main attack. Sidewinders, you want to make sure that you keep them, you want to use them appropriately. Don't just spam them, right? Use them appropriately. Watch for, here, focus fire. See, we haven't been attacked yet, we get extra damage. Don't just go spreading the Sidewinders just to get some extra damage out. Use it appropriately. Wait for that buff to come up, right? So your hunter's mark is out. Oh, sorry, no. Wait until you get to the buff that'll allow you to put hunter's mark on, so that way you can utilize mark shot more appropriately. So if I do freezing arrow, you watch. Throws all those people in a trap. Very, Very handy. Okay, so look, now I can do the mark shot. Now chuck it out. Wait for the thing to come up again. Now you don't have to do this. I just sort of do it, especially in battlegrounds. You want to chuck the... Now I can do it again, watch. Chuck that out, and I can hit more players with it. You get the idea. Now I can do it again, and I'll hit more players with it. Yeah. But, I want to make sure that we get out of here, so I can do it again. Let me hit that up. Now it's saying I can do it again. Oh, no. I'm able to... There we go. So here goes the rogue. I bet she's coming here, so we can kick that. So you saw the cyclone was going there. I kicked it. Now, let's trap these guys over here. Right now. See if we can get a bunch of these people in. So, oh, it already went off. Oh, so it must have glitched him. Okay. So there's a healer over here. So what we want to do now is I want to run over, disorient him. It's great for kicking, Did I just kick that? I think I did. Preempted kicked. But, yeah. You get the idea. So, basically just, you know, sit back, have a laugh, watch what I'm doing. You know, feel free while you're watching this, down in the comments section, say, hey, why don't you try this? Or I do this, or, you know, because I know a lot of you awesome people out there will play it better than I do. Right, so we freeze the healer. Now, that's what, Black Arrow. You want to make sure that you keep Black Arrow up at all times. Make sure that that's ticking away on your target. Where are we now? So I can use that. Look at all the mark shots. Hectic damage, my friends. Okay, so let's Black Arrow this. Great for putting Black Arrow on rogues too. You want to make sure that those buggers don't get into stealth. Look at all this. I want to see my damage at the end of this. It's got to be something crazy. So we're going to freeze the... Where'd he go? Oh, yes. Nice, I got him. All right, so we're going to continuously burst down this healer now. Well, as best as we can, and we've got the flag. Now, let's have a look at how we're going. Right, not too bad. Concussive shot. You know, binding shot these guys out, so you can't peel away. Alright, so look at that damage. Jeez, that demo lock is doing crazy, but still not too bad. Damage is pretty good. Yeah, so I'm not saying this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. I'm sort of just showing you the spells in action, you know? I want you to get an idea, and then what I want you to do is just hone in on those skills. Use aim shot appropriately, use sidewinders appropriately, get the most out of it. Don't, because let's say for example you've just gone to spam both, you know, you've gone and spammed sidewinders, and there's a whole group there, and you've got one mark shot off. You could get 3 mark shots off. You know what I mean? Use it appropriately. And I just love the range of marksman. It's just freaking retarded. Like, soon I reckon we'll get to the point where I can stand up here and shoot across the map. Especially with like sniper shot and that. And what I would, yes, that's what I want to say. What I would suggest is taking the time to trial your bits and pieces out. Now, did we lose that already? No. Trial them out. Do one way. Like, you can do what I've showed you. You know, say... Alright, I'm going to try what Raven showed me. Then I'm going to try something different. Now watch this. Right, I'm going to chuck this right over there. Watch this. Now, we're going to find the healer, which is this one right here, I believe. Now, there we go. Get a mark shot off. Now I can do it again. Get another mark shot off. Oh, here we go. Here we go. I've got my trinket. I've got survivability going on. Now, there we go. I use my... Now what we want to do is get this guy roots out and turtle shell. Still save the trinket. Trinket is very valuable, people. You don't want to be going spamming the trinket out just for the sake of it. You want to make sure that when you use it, it's going to be worth it. Because you'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Watch this. See if I can freeze a bunch of them again. No, only got him. Come on, let's get this guy. Let's get this guy. Whoa, no. Watch out. Ugh. I hate when they go up there like that. Oh, really? No. Let's just sort of... I hate that bounce thing that they do. Stupid mages. Alright. Here we go. Let's go shooting from all the way across the map. See if I can get him. Black arrow. I keep saying... Now, remember that I'm not a marksman main. I keep forgetting to chuck black arrow on people. And here I am telling you awesome people to do it. So there's a rogue there. Let's put flare down so we can't get the vanish off. Let's chuck a bunch of damage into him. What I might do, if I can, no, I missed. I'll just freeze him then. Did I get him? No. What? Right, I'm gonna shoot this freeze right over there. Watch this. Bah! Yeah! Oh, that's so cool. Oh crap, this is our end. Quick! Feign death! Oh, my last minute heal! No! Ah! I didn't have my disorient, so it was still on cooldown. But those are the situations, guys. You're getting over, you know, they're all up in your face. Just orient them, feign death to drop your target, and get the hell out of there. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Is almost over, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys have got something out of this at least, and I haven't really, you know, done, you know, everyone's head in and drove you all crazy. If you have any questions, guys, just shoot a comment down below. I will always, you know, I read every single comment because you guys are very important to me. And yeah, other than that, if you want more of these guides or you just, you know, had a good time, leave a like. It does help me out. And if you are new to the channel, hey, hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell next to it for the notification so you can see where everything else is coming up live. And other than that, you amazing people out there, you keep on sniping, make us proud, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.